But this is the 18-foot Intex XTR Ultra Frame Pool. This is the latest iteration of the Ultra Frame Pool. The difference between this one and the regular Ultra Frame is the fact that these galvanized steel legs and frame pieces are painted both inside and outside for superior rust protection. And the liner that you see right here, this soft vinyl liner, that's actually 50% stronger than the older Ultra Frame liner. I don't know what gauge vinyl they use. I do know that it's a 3-layer design, and just from handling it, from touching it, from lifting it, I can tell you it's very thick, very sturdy, and very heavy duty. This pool came with a ladder, and it came with a crystal clear sand filter pump, also made by Intex. It came with all of the hoses, all the fittings you need. The only thing you have to buy is sand filter media that goes in there, and you have to buy some chemicals, obviously, to get your pool nice and sanitized. Let's talk about the pool some more. This pool is very sturdy. It does have some give, as you can tell. You put a bunch of kids in here, start jumping around, diving, swimming, splashing each other. It does move, but it's designed to do that. So when you're talking about above ground pools, there's really two types, right? You've got your soft-sided like mine here. Then you've got your hard-sided, which are quite a bit more expensive. You're talking about even a basic 21 or 20-foot pool that's hard-sided. It's going to cost you about $1,200 to $1,500, but then you have to add things like your sand filter pump, and if you want to do the salt water system, you got to add that. And by the time you added the ladder and everything else, you're still going to pay about $2,000 to $3,000. That's just for the base model. Once you start getting into the little fancier hard-sided pools, it's really easy to spend upwards of $5,000. Whereas this pool here, we purchased it off Amazon, and we paid, I think it was $640. It is currently listed on Amazon for, I think, $900 and something. So there are different times of the year when these pools are more affordable. In fact, about 2 weeks after I purchased this pool, Amazon made it the Amazon deal of the day for $528. Again, this pool came with everything I needed, including this sand filter pump. Most of these pools come with a very small cartridge filter, which is about a 500-gallon per hour filter, which, if you ask me, those are worthless. Completely worthless. This filter here is a 12-inch model. This holds 50 pounds of number 20 silica sand. You can hear it's very quiet. Has a pump capacity of 2,100 gallons per hour and a flow rate, once you get the sand in there, of 1,600 gallons per hour, which is pretty good for this size pool. Honestly, I may end up upgrading this model from the 12-inch you see here to either the 14 or even the 16-inch, just to get more flow, more filtration. I don't have a screen enclosure over top of the pool, so I've got a lot of leaves and tree debris and a lot of bugs that fall down into this pool on a daily basis. So the filter does have to work quite hard to keep this pool nice and clean. Let's get you a shot of what it looks like. You see here, vacuumed it yesterday evening, and it's already got some stuff at the bottom again. I mean, you know, we're in North Florida, lots of bugs here, lots of, you can see I've got a ton of trees here above. And even though it's not the fall, you know, we're still dropping leaves here and there, some acorns and little twigs and whatnot. That's just kind of part of the deal when you have a pool outside, right? This pool does come with a ladder. You can see my ladder is sitting crooked. That's because I've got it on this little deck that I built. I built this deck so the kids can hose their feet off and not track too much sand into the pool. And then, of course, I also mounted the sand filter pump down. You can kind of see one of the screws right there. There's another one on the other side, and it just makes it nice and solid. Doesn't go anywhere. Like I said, the ladder is sitting a little off level. You can kind of see here. But I did mount it down to the deck so it's not going anywhere. Let's talk about this ladder for a minute. Of all of the parts and pieces this pool came with, this ladder is really the only thing that I would give 1 star out of 5. The ladder is supposed to have, I think, a 300-pound weight capacity, and I believe that. I'm 190 pounds, and it's pretty adventurous climbing up and down this ladder. It's very wobbly. It's not very sturdy, and we'll be replacing that ladder very soon. So Intex, if you're going to do anything to make this pool better, it's giving us a better ladder to come with it. The filtration system uses 2 hoses to suck the dirty water out of the pool. Goes into the pump, into the sand filter, and back out through one larger hose, and then discharges here. Let's talk about this little cap right here. Not really sure what it does, something about surface ionization, but if you lift this cover off, there's little holes right here, and it introduces air into the mix, and so you get like a jacuzzi effect coming out of the discharge right here. You see that? It's kind of cool, I guess. I usually just keep the cap on. I don't know. Let's put that right back on there. Another thing I like is these shutoff valves. When you close this, you can actually disconnect the hose and not a single drop of water will come out of this. I really like that feature. If you need to service the pump or anything, you can just turn this off here. There's another one here on this side. Just turn that off, and then you can disconnect all the hoses from the filter, service the filter in any way you need to. You can move it around or whatever. And then once you've got everything hooked back up, you can just open those valves back up, and it'll prime the pump for you. This pump is slightly newer. I think this was redesigned for the XTR Ultra frame. It's now digital control panel here up top. Obviously it's designed to be outside, so I mean, this cover is nice, but it's not really waterproof in and of itself. But the actual unit is completely weather resistant. You know, it's sat through quite a bit of rainfall here, and you can see it's still perfectly, you know, it works great. It is a 0.24 horsepower motor, whatever that means. Has a basic on-off button here, and then you can set a timer from 0, I'm guessing from 1 to 12 hours. So it'll just run for however many hours you want. I have this pump set right now at 6 hours. I start the pump at 7 a.m. every morning before I leave for work. I let it run for 6 hours until 1 p.m. It shuts off automatically. And then when I get home in the evening around 5:30, I turn the pump back on and run for an additional 6 hours. They say not to run this pump for more than 12 hours at a time. Now, if I know I've got a bunch of kids coming over for a party, for a pool party or something, and I know there's going to be a lot of activity in here with a lot of dirt, a lot of kids, a lot of sunscreen and everything, I'll go ahead and just make the pump run for 12 hours continuous. Overall, guys, I am super thrilled with having this pool. I really wish I would have done it sooner. We've been in this house for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years now. I really wish we could have bought this pool the day we moved in here, because it really, I mean, we've only had it now for 6 weeks, and I mean, we're in this thing almost every day, several times a day. My wife and I love to come home from work and just get into the pool and chill, have a nice refreshing adult beverage, talk about our day. And of course our son, especially now in the summertime, he's in here almost every day constantly. He loves the pool. It's really nice to have this 52-inch frame height, because it means that you have about a 48-inch water depth. If you get a 48-inch tall pool, you're only getting about 44 inches of water depth, and that extra 4 inches does make a big difference. Overall, very sturdy. Like I said, now it's not a hard-sided pool, so it is designed to have some give. But that's perfectly normal. That's what it's designed to do. I'll do another video to give a review of this surface skimmer. This did not come with the pool. We bought that extra. So that'll be a separate video coming out soon. Look at that. Another leaf right in the pool. Come here, you. Can't reach you, bug. Come here. I'll catch you later. So that's it, guys. We absolutely love the pool. If I had to give it a rating of 5 out of 5 stars, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5, just because of that ladder. If that ladder was sturdier, I'd give it a solid 5. The pool itself, the frame is amazing. The vinyl material is really strong. I love the sand filter pump. I love all of the connections. I love the pool. The ladder could definitely use some improvement. But for now, it's going to have to do. Eventually, later this year, late fall, and then throughout the winter, I'm going to be building a nice wooden deck right here, and then we'll use a different ladder to get in and out of the pool. I will be doing a time-lapse video of that deck build and just a video kind of journal of me building it. It'll take me a few weekends to build it, but I'll make sure to bring you guys along for the ride, okay? Like I said, I'm going to drop the link in the description below of the time-lapse video if you haven't seen that. Like I said, it's about 5.5 minutes long, kind of fun to watch, and it shows how two people can very easily put this pool together in about 60 minutes. And then using 2 water hoses, 2 garden hoses, I had this filled up in about 11 hours. We did have a pretty significant rain shower help us out. Dropped about 1 inch of rain into the pool while we were filling it, so that kind of helped. Free water, right? I'm also going to do another video after this one to talk about what chemicals I use, what tools I use to clean the pool. You can see I've got a floating chlorine tablet thing, but I'll talk about all of those products in a separate video and answer any questions you guys might have. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell icon so you'll be instantly notified every time I drop a video in this series. Feel free to drop comments or questions down below. I try very hard to answer all of your questions. And if there's anything specific you want me to cover in the next video, let me know in the comments below. Guys, thank you all so much. Have an amazing day. I'm getting really hot out here. I think I'm going to change into my shorts and jump in this pool. Alright guys, so lessons learned, right? You see how I took the tarp that the pool came with, this is the ground cover, and I moved it, kind of rolled it back so that I could put the pads down on the ground, the dirt. Lesson learned, don't do that. Keep the tarp flat and put the pad, whether you use a pressure treated 2x8 like I did, or what I really should have done is take some concrete pavers and put those pads directly on top of the tarp. And then you can come back later, you can add some red mulch on top to kind of cover that tarp so it doesn't look so ugly. But what happens is you get a bunch of people in this pool, a bunch of kids splashing. The overflow will come out of these little openings right here. It'll run down the side of the pool. And what will end up happening, it'll erode all of this sand, and it'll actually make this pad kind of settle down into the ground, which you don't want. When I set this pool up, I made absolutely sure that all of these pads were level to one another. And they mostly are still, but I'm gonna have to eventually do something about that. I don't know, maybe this winter I'll partially drain the pool so that I can add some more dirt back, maybe even lift these legs up and put that tarp all the way out, and then I'll add mulch to kind of cover it, make it look good. But a lesson learned, use a good pad, whether it's pressure treated wood, or really I recommend a concrete paver. Only reason I use pressure treated wood is because I had it on hand. It's gonna last, you know, a long time, but paver obviously would last even longer, and it's stronger material. But yeah, put that tarp down. It's a square tarp for a round pool, but if you have the tarp laying flat and then put the pad on top of that, the water is going to run down the side of the pool over top of the tarp and then out here where it's not going to really matter. Another mistake I made was on this side here. You know, I had to, let's go on the other side real quick. My yard is not level at all, and you can see right here I had to cut down about 9 inches or so into the ground, and I took all this dirt and I moved it down to the low end, and then I had to eventually get 2 yards worth of sandy clay to raise this side of the pool, this side of the yard up higher so I can have a nice level ground. What I should have done is I should have brought the dirt further out, maybe even all the way to the concrete patio back here, but I stopped right where this deck stops. And what happened is some of the you know, rain and then the water splashing down, it made, you can see that leg right there, it's kind of kicked out. It was perfectly straight up and down, but a lot of that sand is washed out to below the deck, and I had to eventually pour about 60 pounds of concrete underneath that leg just to get it to where it wouldn't sink anymore. So lesson learned there. Make your, if you have to put some sand down, some dirt down to level your yard, bring it out at least 2 to 3 feet past where the pool stops. and then let that square ground cloth, that gray tarp, let it lay flat on the dirt. Put whatever paver or pad down on top of the tarp, and you'll be good to go. That's pretty much it, guys. Everything else on this pool worked really well. Just a mistake I made. I'm sharing that mistake with you. Plus, too, now that I've got it all kind of scrunched up, you can see it traps rainwater and splashed pool water, and that's just breeding ground for mosquitoes. And Lord knows we have enough mosquitoes here in Florida. I don't need to add to the population. Anyway, there it is, guys. Lesson learned. Should have done my homework. Have a great day, guys. Peace.